Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation. As staff members at the University of Newcastle Library, it is our responsibility to ensure that our collections are readily accessible and available to our present and future patrons. Two strategies that are used to meet this goal are disaster planning and collection preservation, which we will be exploring in this presentation. Disaster planning, also known as contingency planning, involves creating a series of procedures, plans, and programs that enable organizations to prepare for, respond to, and recover from negative events of all kinds. There are three elements of effective disaster planning. The first is risk assessment. Library staff must identify and prioritize risks most likely to affect their institution. These risks are typically grouped into 6 categories: natural, technological, human-caused, security-related, proximity-based, and enterprise risks. Understanding the library's specific vulnerabilities in each category allows for more tailored planning. Once risks are assessed, the next essential step is to establish clear procedures for responding to potential disasters. This includes developing a written disaster response plan and assembling emergency response teams with assigned roles and responsibilities. The current library hierarchy will be the most effective response team, with staff members already being familiar with our roles and responsibilities, responding to incidents faster and more efficiently than an external response team. However, staff must have sufficient training in order to adapt and carry out their roles in an emergency, and such training is offered by organizations such as the Australian Library and Information Association, who provide example emergency scenarios. Finally, the plan must address post-disaster recovery. Examples of recovery steps including engaging with insurers, assessing the salvageable items in impacted collections, restoring library services, and supporting staff and patrons in the aftermath. An after-action review of the response should also be conducted to identify areas in which the response succeeded or failed to combat the incident. The purpose of this review is to improve or reconsider the response's approach to incidents so that the response is relevant and functional. Together, these components enable a library to not only survive a disaster, but also resume operations smoothly and as quickly as possible. Now that we have dealt with the process of disaster planning, let's look at the process of preservation. Preservation is defined as activities that are aimed at preventing or stopping the deterioration of materials so that their intellectual content may be safe for future users. In the past, libraries possessed physical collections, so preservation efforts were aimed at expanding the lives of rare or fragile physical materials. However, the emergence of digital collections has made it necessary for librarians to apply preservation to this collection for two reasons. Firstly, because many digital items do not have a physical format to traditionally preserve, and secondly, digital access to collections is more popular and convenient for users. For physical preservation, temperature, humidity, and light exposure are key factors in enabling physical items to have longer or shorter lives. Physical items are more likely to last in a storage space that has low humidity and lighting, and with regular checkups on the collection for signs of deterioration. Packaging can be used as a preventative measure for potential damage, especially for more fragile items, but can become quite costly for the library when acquiring storage boxes specifically designed for preservation. How physical materials are handled also factors in the life of the materials. Contrary to popular myth, handling fragile items, especially books with cotton gloves, actually causes more damage to physical items than handling with bare hands. Physical items can also be preserved by being converted to a digital form. This process is known as digitization, and while it is an effective means of preservation, the newly created digital item faces new challenges of its digital preservation. Such challenges include format obsolescence, where outdated software or hardware may no longer support access to certain types of media, and digital corruption, where files become unreadable or degraded. To successfully combat these issues, information agencies will implement a variety of strategies, such as regular and planned migration, regular data checks and reports, and storing data replicates in multiple storage spaces. To conclude, let's sum up the key points of this presentation. In order to ensure continued access to library collections, proactive and strategic approaches are required. Disaster planning and collection preservation are the most important of these approaches. Through disaster planning, libraries can identify, prepare, and respond to incidents in a way that ensures minimal impact on the library's operations and a swift recovery. For digital and physical collections, continual practicing of collection preservation will secure collection accessibility for the library patrons of today and of the future. If you wish to look further into these processes, I've included a list of resources I have used in today's presentation. Thank you.